I should take my glasses off. Maybe someone will answer.
All right, American Hammers TV. We are live. We're here with Swedish Pete, and we're here with Harry from Los Angeles Hammers. What's happening, guys?
How you doing, mate? We're having a Memorial Weekend beer in Mexicali, in the city of Studio.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Well, I'm drinking my. We got to mention my sponsor right now, real quick. I'm having my Strava Craft Coffee. We're based out of Denver, Colorado.
No advertising.
I have to, man. They send me some good stuff. So I just got to mention, if you go to their, if you put Hammers 15 as a coupon code in the checkout, you can save 15%. And this stuff's really awesome. It's premium craft coffee. They make regular coffee. They also make coffee with CBD oil in it, which is kind of cool. Anyway, that said, Lee is my guest, my co-host tonight. And we have, like I said before, Swedish Pete, and we have Harry from Los Angeles Hammers. So let's start with Harry. How did you become a hammer?
Looks like the internet's keeping us in suspense for a minute here.
Dun, dun, dun.
He's on California time. It's a little slow. Are you guys there?
It sounds like you're slowly coming back. Are you guys there?
Okay.
Maybe I should sing a few bars of "I Love L.A." the old Randy Newman song.
There you go.
Yes. Slow.
Are you guys good? All right. So
what's that, mate? I've lost. Oh, there you are.
All right. So I was asking. So how did you become a hammer, Harry?
I'm good. Good.
Hello.
Okay. Well, I was born in the East End of London.
That'll do it.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we can hear you. Yep.
Okay. Now I can hear you again. All right. So yeah, I was born in Stepney. Went to school in.
Well, we got that far.
And everyone really lost. One of the 9% of the people I knew was West Ham fans. All my family was West Ham, so didn't have much choice. Peter's got a much more interesting story than me because he grew up in Stockholm.
Oh, so he's really sweet.
I went to boarding school in Worthing, and I had an Irish father who was intrigued by George Best. This is 1973. So he took me to Upton Park, and he bought me a West Ham shirt, and we tied 2-2, and this guy, George Best, scored. We had a bunch of on. I read that program back to that when we scored 2-2 by Brian Robson. That's when my testicles dropped. I swear to God, that was the moment. So I've been a West Ham fan since '73, literally. And yeah, my dad said, "You're going to support a team that's never going to win shit, but you're coming from a good fan group of fans." So, yeah, I didn't realise until now how bloody right it was.
My old man had a pub in Woolwich, and I remember when West Ham won the World Cup, or so we thought when we was kids, because I was too young to really take much notice of the football. But all the guys in the pub would give me the little stickers with World Cup Willie on them, and then we'd run around the playground singing "Viva Bobby Moore" and all that stuff. It was kind of bred into us.
Well, Pete, you've been at West Ham fan since '73. That's the year I was born. So, you've been a West Ham fan my whole life, which is inspiring,
Oh,
also sort of terrifying.
Excuse me.
Yes,
You want
I
some
do.
quesadilla?
Yeah. Yes, actually, I
there's my
do.
picture.
So how did the group get started?
There you go. Let's see if you can see this. Our group got started. Nicky Page, we were getting together a little bit. So Nicky Page just started the. I think he started it on Twitter first, and it's just grown and grown. It started in 2015. There was about 3 or 4 of us, and now we're in 2 different locations because Los Angeles is massive. So we got one mob meets in Pasadena, and we meet here in the Valley. And I think there's probably 100 members now.
Wow.
Most people here.
150, I would say.
150 there is. And most people here are like the usual suspects. Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City. We actually share with the Man City.
Didn't quite get who you're shared with there.
Hello.
We do our best to
We have 750 to 3.
bubbles. There we go. With my cousin.
Oh wow.
Same shirt.
Still got the same shirt on. Yeah, there you go.
So you cut out for a minute there when
And these are these hammers.
Yep.
What was
Hello?
that? Oh, gotcha.
Oh,
Now.
I'm
There
sorry.
you
I
are.
was just saying. You cut
Right,
out for
gotcha.
a minute when you were mentioning who you were sharing with,
Oh,
who you were sharing the
hold on.
bar with.
I got. Manchester City. The Man City, the Los Angeles Man
Yeah, Mid
City
City. Okay,
Supporters
that's
Club.
yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't know one. I've been here for nearly 30 years. I didn't know one Man City fan 10 years ago, but they've all popped up from everywhere recently.
I'll bet they have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, funny how that works, isn't it? Yeah.
All that money. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
The
So.
Glory Hunters, as we call them.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Although it doesn't seem like the worst group you could be with. I mean, it's probably better than Tottenham or Arsenal, would be my guess.
No, I mean, I don't mind City fans. The ones I can't stand is I can't stand bleeding Spurs, of course. And there's a lot of them around. I cannot stand Man United fans. Peter's agreeing with me, by the way.
Yeah.
And the worst of the worst for me is Chelsea. Because Chelsea was on a level with
Yes.
West Ham and they fought their way into that level that they're at now.
Yeah, it's funny. The other day I killed a large chunk of an afternoon looking at West Ham stats. If you guys want to see the West Ham stats website, pretty frequently updated. If you look at our all-time record against Chelsea, it's very even actually, which means that
It really was. You're right.
yeah, which means until 2003 we probably had a much better record against Chelsea. We had a winning record against Chelsea until they got the money, because they were pretty much on our level until 15 years ago. Things changed. So.
They really were.
Yeah.
The funniest thing about Chelsea used to be when they used to come to Upton Park, and it was only straight down the district line, they'd have like 4 supporters there and they'd all hide. They'd never come to Upton Park back in them days. Spurs was another one like that, and it's like 10 minutes away. There'd be like 6 supporters hiding in the corner.
Now, Pete, when did you leave Sweden?
Well, when did you leave Sweden?
86.
So
1986.
I lived in England for 3 years.
Okay.
I went to boarding school there. And
Yep.
so that was a regular thing for me in September when the season started. I used to pop up and park myself from the kid.
Yeah, but then when you left and
And,
came here,
yeah,
how did
so
you watch
it was a
games?
struggle when you're traveling back in 86.
Yeah.
You didn't know what the score was when you were in Thailand. You were
Yeah.
in Indonesia. So I had to do a month of newspapers just to see if we stayed up.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes we didn't.
Yeah.
I remember those days, even here, like, and it's an English-speaking country. They played on Saturday, and it was fortunate to call home, So unless it was a really important game, you'd like find out the score next Friday when they were getting ready to play the next Saturday's game.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
It was like after the '94 World Cup, you started to get a bit of coverage, you know.
Yeah.
The only I remember.
Sweden back in the days was at 3 o'clock Swedish time, 4 o'clock English time. They showed one live game every Saturday. It was called the extra betting. So you can bet on the games, and you sat with 12 games, and they showed the games, so the scores came up in the corner. And everybody had a favorite team. I think I was the only one in 150 miles radius that was a West Ham fan. Because everyone's same shit there. They were fucking Arsenal. Why? They had nice shirts. Not bollocks. It was just all this shooting. And as you said before, the Man United fans.
Liverpool as well, wasn't it, back in the '80s? The victims.
Funny old story. So we used to take the ferry across the Harwich and the bus to Upton Park and then stay in a hotel. So I was in the bus where there were 50 Man United fans and it was me. And suddenly a brick comes through the window by the driver. And the driver said, he said, the West Ham fans on the bus. I go, yeah, me. He goes, can you go out and have a chat with them? I go, get a brick through my head. So, he opened the door, I put my head up with this guy and go, oh, you're West Ham in here. I go, oh, sorry. And they started throwing bricks in the bus behind us instead. Oh, it didn't make me like the United fans any better.
That's amazing. So I mean,
Yeah, it used to
now.
be, Upton Park was an experience back in the day.
Oh, I bet. I mean, but now,
What was that, sorry?
Now there's a lot of Scandinavian hammers. There's Norwegian hammers. There's Swedish hammers. There's a lot of groups up there for West Ham. So I don't know when they originated or started, but now it seems that there's a lot bigger fan base for West Ham over there.
Yeah, well, yes, all of Scandinavia has always had a fascination with British football. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we used to get, now and again, you'd get a bus from Norway or Sweden or something, and they'd always make themselves known. And I do see that now. They've got those groups. I guess now it's that much easier to get into the ground as well, because Upton Park was always full with the locals. It was hard to get a ticket unless you was a local.
Yeah.
Big following group in Sweden called Scandinavian Hammers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was just saying, yeah. When did that start? Do you know, Pete? That's what they were asking me.
No, I don't know. I just want to start popping up. I found them on Facebook.
Okay.
I had the opportunity to meet some of them.
Really cool logo as well. It's got a Viking helmet with 2 hammers over it. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
you need to get
What, did they come to America?
No.
Or
The end of the 2017-18 season, they rented a boat on the water outside Olympic Stadium, and I got to. They were interviewing Jack Collison
brilliant.
on the boat, and I was with Jack at the time, and he asked me to
nice.
come down and watch them interview him. And let me tell you, it was packed. That little boat was just. It was so crazy how many hammers there were, and they were not all from Norway. There was Swedish.
Well, they're Vikings. They're used to that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, how ironic. Yeah.
raping dogs and killing women.
No, he's talking about a boat from the Olympic Stadium. It's full of Swedes. He's not talking about anything else, raping or pillaging or anything. That was about 500 years ago, wasn't it?
You know what? Now that I think about it, I don't think I saw any women. So, yeah. But no, that was cool. But like you were saying, Harry,
But
that
that'll be thrown over.
pretty much the World Cups.
These two.
Oh, we're in Massachusetts.
I lost him again. Hold
Are
on.
they both in Dallas?
No, we're in
Oh, you're
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Massachusetts. Boston.
Yep.
Uh,
About 30 miles north.
Well, they have a local
north
football
of
program.
Boston.
Yeah.
There is one in Boston, but
Nice.
it's a little far for us. Yeah. We're most likely going to
gotcha.
do something by ourselves this upcoming season. But no, I was saying that, Harry, you were mentioning that it wasn't until the '94 World Cup that you started getting more exposure here in the States, or we didn't get that much. Well, same thing with the 2010 World Cup, and same thing with the 2014. In 2014 is when NBC decided to play every single match every
I
single
remember that.
Premier League match on television.
Because
Yeah,
before that,
and they
Fox
did
was
that for a
doing
few
like one
seasons.
a week, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's every time that every time there was more matches on television, it was after a World Cup, like you were saying. Going with the whole
Yeah.
exposure thing, which it's taking off here in the States, which is massive. But listen, Major League Soccer doesn't do itself any justice, and how the game is created and how there's no promotion relegation and the appeal
Well, I
for
will say
football overseas
that
is so much better.
LAFC, yeah, true. Well, that LAFC is the closest I've been to Upton Park in the 70s and 80s that I've seen in the US.
Is that right?
I've been there a couple
I
of times
have
in the
heard
last
that.
couple of months. It's unbelievable. I mean, they just cheer and cheer and cheer. It's like a proper football stadium. It's mostly Hispanics from East LA, and they're fanatical. It's kind of wild going there. It really reminds me of West Ham in the 70s
There's
and
a
80s.
big group of West Ham fans who have a section up there.
And they've also got hammers on their club crest, which is crazy. When I first went there, I thought it was something to do with West Ham. But apparently it's something to do with some union in East LA.
I have heard that about LAFC, is that the atmosphere is very European-like, which is kind of cool.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
They have done a good
Yeah,
job
I
with
was there
that.
on Friday night with Nick. It was great. It was really, really like, I mean, the chants, the way they all move in unison, it's really kind of crazy. It takes me back to another era.
Some of the clubs do that. I will give them that. It's just here in New England where we live, it's not. It's horrible. I mean, we have a club that plays in the stadium where the New England Patriots
The
play.
Revolution, right?
Yeah, the Revolution. They play in the same stadium that the Patriots play.
Right.
That's a massive, massive stadium, and they only get like 10,000 people.
Right.
And it makes it look horrible. And there is no atmosphere. There's one group, they just sing the same Yellow Submarine song over and over again, and they drum. Huh?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you were saying? I think we're losing them again.
Yeah, I think we're losing them too.
sounds like Liverpool. Hundreds and hundreds.
Right. Yeah.
You lost us again?
All right, now you're back.
Yeah.
Now I hear you.
Way back, yeah.
You got us again? Now you're back.
Yeah.
You mentioned
Yes.
Seattle.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, when I was in Seattle, I was kind of impressed with them as well, because they play in that stadium where the football team plays.
We went there
Yes.
to see West Ham play 2 years ago.
Oh, you
with my
did?
wife, yeah.
It's crazy, like they're really into it. It's crazy, and they got like 40, 50,000 crowds.
Yeah.
They're just singing all the way through.
We were probably 1,000 West Ham fans and took up the whole section.
Yeah,
That's right, that was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
that was, yeah.
We lost 4-0.
They've probably been out having a drink the night before.
Yeah.
I was telling Peter earlier, I used to work for Brian Deere. Are you familiar with Brian Deere?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Striker in the 60s.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. When I was about 10 or 11, he'd been fired from West Ham because they all went out drinking the night before they played Blackpool. It was Bobby Moore, Clyde Best, Jimmy Greaves, and Brian Deere. And the first three got fined 2 weeks' wages because obviously they were worth a bit of money to the club. Brian was over the top. He's got a big beer belly and everything. So they fired him and he's got a pub. And my dad got me a job helping him out clean the pub up in the mornings. So it was great. I'd go to school and everyone would go, "Do you really work for Brian Deere?" I'm like, "Yes, it's great."
That's awesome.
So you didn't play football after that? They fired him and he didn't go somewhere else? He bought a pub?
Can you speak up, Lee?
What's that, mate?
I said, so he didn't play football after that? They fired him and then he bought a pub? He didn't go to another club?
No, they fired him. No, West Ham let him go to Fulham or someone, I think.
Oh,
And then he went to Millwall, and then he went somewhere else, and then he came back to West Ham for half the season, got all the team out on the booze, and they fired him. You know? And after that, he had such a bad name, he couldn't get a job anywhere. You know, even for English football, he was too much, which is saying something.
Especially in that era, right? Especially in those days, yeah.
When Bobby, what's his name, Georgie Best was the best player in the world, used to train on champagne.
Yeah, exactly. So, growing up there, Harry, who were some of your personal favorites?
Well, from the late 60s, early 70s, of course, we all loved Bobby Moore, but always loved Trevor Brooking, Alan Devonshire, loved Alan Devonshire, uh, Frankie Lampard, the dad
Senior.
Frank Lampard, we
Yeah.
all loved,
Yeah.
Albert Martin. It was always, most of the time, was local boys. Of course, we loved that. When I got a little bit older and understood it better, we loved that 65 Cup Winners' Cup team. I think they were the only ever team that won the Cup Winners' Cup with all English players.
You're probably right.
Crazy to think
Yeah.
about now.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
65.
So
I
how
think
about you?
they were the last team to do that, apart from Celtic, who did it in the European Cup, right? In '68, they did it with all Scottish players.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
So how about you, Pete? Peter, who were some of your favorites growing up?
Favourite players. Favourite players growing up.
I like Frank Lampard and Trevor Brooking. They were this morning too. The two players that I first paid attention to when all the other were screaming against all the bollocks against Man United, I saw Trevor Brooking, and I remember the first time he caught a pass from Bobby Moore, and the whole stadium just stood up, and I had freaking goosebumps all over.
I bet.
And he was so close to scoring so many times, and I'm not religious, but that moment I was praying, if there is a God, let freaking Trevor Brooking score. And from that moment, I think he was one of my heroes growing up. It still is today. My friend used to work for Doc Martin, and he was sitting next to Trevor Brooking at all the games. Christmas and I missed out. He said, "Come over, mate. We've got a seat next to Trevor Brooking." Missed it. Really, really did.
Wow.
Wow.
Modern days, I don't think I really have any favorite players right now.
But Noble.
Yeah, Noble. But more because what he is and what he's done.
I love Di Canio. There's
Yeah.
one I forgot of the modern era.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, change.
I first started paying attention to West Ham because
A
of
gentleman, a spontaneous prick. He was everything in Italian football player. Yeah, I love him.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And he also is the one who grabbed the ball in the
Oh.
penalty area when it was because the player was injured.
One guy I've got to mention that I loved when I was a little boy, because he had the same name as me, was Harry Redknapp.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, as a player, right? Yeah.
And he was a great player for West Ham. Great
Yeah.
winger.
Yeah. Tomorrow we have Kenny Brown coming on the show, which will be our first ex-player. He was a
Great.
solid defender, yeah.
Well, his dad, Ken Brown, was one of the people my dad knew, because my dad knew a lot of the players, because they were much more accessible in the 50s, 60s, 70s than they are now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Kenny Brown, I think, played in the 80s, didn't he, the boy?
He did. Yeah, he did.
I mean, that was when I last went to West Ham, was in the 80s, when he was breaking through. I've been in the US since 1986.
Oh,
I think he played in the early 90s. Yeah. Late 80s, early 90s. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was just after I left, he kind of broke through a lot, yeah.
Right.
And his dad, I think, he just died, didn't he?
yeah. Well,
I think he was one of that original crowd that they used to say met in the cap and made the West Ham way kind of thing.
yeah. So what do you guys think about, do you prefer the youth players coming through and us starting to groom them and give them the opportunity, like going forward, especially with our current setup where
Yes.
we have a lot of aging players? And would you rather see us sign a bunch of 28, 29-year-olds, or would you like to see someone like
No.
I don't know, Nathan Holland or Grady Diangana or guys like that get more of an opportunity?
Josh Cullen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always love it when the local kids come through. Because,
That's
West Ham could never really afford to buy that many players. Their best players always came through the ranks. And it was a hotbed. And I think they miss a trick, West Ham, by not exposing themselves more to the Asian kids that are in the East End now. Because some of them must be able to play football. I just don't think they're exposed to it, unfortunately.
We were talking about it yesterday. If we would have kept all the kids that came out from the academy, we could have won championship over and over and over if we would have kept every single one. But we couldn't afford it. We didn't have the money to do it.
And the West Ham
Yeah,
fans can
that's
be
true.
so fickle. they hounded Frank Lampard out of the club. Let's be honest about it. The junior Frank Lampard.
And he couldn't wait to get out of
They
there.
kept calling him Fat Frank Lampard and saying he was only in the team because of his dad and all that kind of stuff. And he was such a good little player.
Yeah. And the Ferdinand brothers.
He made a lot of he made a lot of appearances for West Ham. He's a really good West Ham player, but well, the fans ran him out, and then the club sacked his dad and sacked his uncle. I mean, to be honest, I don't blame Frank Lampard for what he does about West Ham. I'm sorry, I just
No, neither do I.
I mean, people hate him. I mean, other players like Paul Ince is a different story. Somebody like that.
Yeah.
But Frank Lampard, I mean, how would you feel? I mean, the club your father played for, the club you grew up with, and then
Paul Ince also got bad advice as a very young player.
I know he did.
You've got to remember that these kids are given advice by guys who are my age.
I know. He did. And a lot of guys did.
Paul Ince is an East End boy when it all comes down to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I can understand why people have a resentment toward Paul Ince. But Frank Lampard, to me, I mean, West Ham kind of screwed him over, honestly. And, it's sad.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
If he'd stuck around, if he had Frank Lampard and Joe Cole and Rio Ferdinand and Michael Carrick and Glenn Johnson.
Michael Carrick loved the club, but
Yeah.
all those guys.
Glenn Johnson didn't want to leave. They kind of pushed him out.
All those guys from the early 2000s, if they had stuck together, we could have certainly been at least made some runs in the Champions League. As opposed to always being mid-table or fighting relegation.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
What's his name?
Harry Redknapp set them up to go to Europe every year, and then they just let it all go, and they let him go.
Yeah.
They've never. I just don't know what to say about some of the ways West Ham's been run. Brown was awful. Cairns weren't much better. The Iceland guys nearly finished the club, and now these two fellas. I mean, I've known around about that Sullivan for years, but I don't really think they've got the best interest of the club at heart. I just think they want to be loved. I think they're like the Donald Trump of football. You can tell them anything and they'll believe it.
Yeah. True.
Long as you stroke their ego a bit, they're happy.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I know David Gold was born across the street from the Boleyn and all that, but I don't really mind David Gold. I don't like Sullivan at all. I don't like his background. I
prefer David Gold to Sullivan. I agree with you.
Yeah, but Sullivan has the money. Sullivan's worth
I think Gold might be getting. Sullivan's, it's his ego.
Yeah. And the other thing is,
what was that? Sorry, mate, I lost you for a second.
These guys owned Birmingham City, and they weren't particularly successful with Birmingham City. So their track record is not all that good.
No, exactly.
And to me, anybody who owned another club, I mean, you can't have that much of a heart for West Ham if you went off and owned some other club.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their excuse was that Terry Brown turned down the offer to buy him or something. But, that would be like, I guess it would be the equivalent here of saying, oh, I love the New York Giants, but I'm going to buy, the Yankees, but I'm going to buy the Red Sox because I can't buy the Yankees.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah. We should be in the fucking academy.
So, yeah, I completely agree with you. But I think they're just holding on to get money, personally.
Oh,
They will.
Gomez. We put a bid on 18 million for Gomez.
Yeah,
Barcelona.
I heard that. £18 million, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if their bids are serious because they want 30 million. So, it's a big difference between 18 and 30, isn't there?
I think he's not a bad player for us, but I'm with you. I don't know if that's really good or not.
5-1.
What's that, mate? Sorry?
I think he would be a decent player for us, but I'm with you. I don't know if 18 million is
Yeah, so do I.
good. I have no idea. Because they're always doing this. They're always trying to get somebody on the cheap, and making us look bad.
Yeah, they did it with Neymar. Do you remember they bid like 2 million for Neymar?
Yeah, it was like 2.5. Yeah,
big for him. They're not going
so
to take
stupid.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just embarrassing. That was kind of a low point. Yeah. A cheeky bid, as they say, but I mean, come on.
I agree. I mean, yeah, exactly.
Have you been?
And to be honest with you, I think West Ham still run like a boozer. It's a booze up for players on their last legs. And I do know this from personal experience. As I said, I grew up in pubs, and when Martin Peters and Jimmy Greaves swapped in like 1969 or 70. In those days, they used to have a press conference and they shake hands and, you know, take a photo and they'd be in the paper the next day. And Jimmy Greaves used to drink in my dad's pub. And apparently the conversation between Jimmy Greaves and Martin Peters at the press conference was Jimmy Greaves, Martin Peters says, well, what's it like over Tottenham? He goes, oh, it's good, you'll have a good time, you know, well set up and all that. He goes, what's it like at West Ham? He said, well, he says, you won't win many medals, but you'll have some good piss-ups. So
Yeah.
it's always been the same there.
Yeah, it's always been the same.
And, you know, I know from experience, my friend's daughter lives with Andy Carroll. And Andy Carroll's on the piss 24/7. You know, he doesn't take football seriously.
Yeah, I believe that completely. I've always believed that half of Andy Carroll's injuries are really like rehab stints or
Hello? Oh, there you are.
recovering from a bender. I mean, he hurts his heel, he hurts his toe, he hurts his elbow, whatever.
It's just his ego, and
Andy's a good fella, but
I don't think he's hurt half the time.
No, I don't think he's. No.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think he trains that much. That's the problem. And I think he loves West Ham. He don't want to leave, but you can't keep paying someone $100,000 a week and play for one out every
Of
3 or
course
4
he loves
games.
West Ham. He makes an enormous amount of money for not doing anything.
Yeah.
I would stay in that job.
Yeah, right, I know.
I would keep that job too. I'd love that job.
But
Who would pay him that right
yeah,
now?
exactly. Yeah, we wouldn't.
Who would pay him that right now? You know, who would actually sign him right now? Who in the right mind with his track record of
To be
injuries?
honest with you, I think he's going to retire. I think he's going to retire, and I'll tell you why. Billy, the girl he's with, I've known since she was a baby. Her dad is my brother's best friend, and Billy earns good money herself. She's on some reality show in the UK, and she has a yoga studio. And they just bought a house in Essex somewhere for £5 million. It has a feeling to me that he's just going to give it up because he must have earned enough money never to need to work again. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I always wondered if he would end up in MLS. Actually,
Well, that was my thought. Is that as if it was Miami or Tampa or here, Billy would come there because she's got certain things she likes. I just know he ain't going to play in Newcastle or Manchester. It don't suit her lifestyle.
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was brief.
Yeah,
He ended up in Galaxy next to Zlatan.
What was that, mate? Sorry, you cut out for a second.
Galaxy seems like a perfect place for him. Actually,
Yeah, Galaxy or LAFC, that's where I thought we'd end up.
yeah.
I just see him in Galaxy playing 10 minutes a game, thinking about injury.
Right.
Zlatan up front, that'd be a fucking lot.
But the other thing is, I don't think he's right for the game now because now you can't touch anybody, and his game's all about elbows and physical game. And I think it suits the MLS better than the Premier League, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he is. He always had a little bit of a dirty side to him. But if he ended up in New York or LA, my guess is that he could have some parties that would take people back to the best days of George Best. I'll bet Andy Carroll could,
Yeah.
I'll bet Andy Carroll could put some people under the table. Let me tell you, just a guess. I'll bet that dude here in the US.
Listen, mate, I've been out drinking with him. He's a young boy, and he out-drunk me. He drinks like a fish. And it don't seem to affect him. It's like he's got hollow legs.
That's what I'm saying. He could put some people under the table. I don't know how he can survive, really. I don't know how long he's making.
Anyway, I should stop that subject because I do know him. You know what I mean? Let's change the subject. I'm going to get myself in all kinds of trouble.
Fair enough.
He's a lovely fella. Let's put it that way.
He does seem like a good
He
guy.
does seem like a nice guy.
He seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He seems like a
No, he's a really nice fella, but I don't think that don't pay the bills for West Ham, does it?
No,
No.
he's the kind of guy you could have a drink or 12 with.
So,
But yeah, I don't think he's right for West Ham anymore.
oh yeah, he really is. I mean, I was with him in Canary Wharf having a drink, and everyone who come up to him, he was nice to, took photos with, signed things.
Yeah.
But I did point out to him it was 3 o'clock in the morning. They were playing the next day. You better come.
So, who do you think our signing of the season was?
That's awesome.
Who do you think our signing of the season was?
What's that, mate?
Who do you think who do you think our signing of the season was this year?
Oh, last year it was definitely Fabianski
All right.
by a long way. You know, I mean, what did they pay for him? Six or
Yeah,
7
that
million.
definitely.
I loved Anderson. He's just inconsistent.
Yeah.
And really, I think the sign of the season was Declan Rice for 5 years.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The long-term
Hopefully-
contract.
Hopefully, we can keep him.
I just hope we keep him. I hope we can keep him. I feel the same way. I hope we can keep him, and I hope if we do sell him, which I hope we do not, but I hope if we do sell him, we get like £100 million in return. You know, we don't sell him short. But I want to keep him at least a couple more seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they do sell him overseas. Don't sell him at Tottenham or Arsenal.
Yes,
or Man United or someone.
exactly.
Exactly.
You know, Germany or Italy, or sell him somewhere else where he's not going to come back and score against us over and over again.
Yeah. So have
But
either
I
of you?
honestly think if they sign a couple of more players, go on, what's that?
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think if we sign a couple of more players, he seems more than happy to stay. He seems like a sensible young guy. He loves West Ham and he don't really want to go anywhere. So, you know, you've got to just sign a couple more players at his level. You know, that Gomez will be a good start.
I agree. I feel the same way. And I think if we stay healthy next season, we could get a little more fortune with some of the calls that have gone against us, the referees' calls, the linesman decisions. I mean, we're not light years away from being a top 8, maybe even top 16. When you bring a Yarmolenko back,
I agree.
get a whole healthy season of Balbuena, we're not that far away from breaking into Europe potentially.
Yeah.
No. And, you know, that Yarmolenko was just looking like a proper good player, wasn't he? And then he got injured. So we got him to come back next year.
Well, I mean, we got Yarmolenko.
West Ham. It's depth. And, you know,
Go ahead.
and they want to stop buying players for the sake of buying them, which to me, that's what it seemed like. When they bought that, the Colombian guy, I can't remember his name.
Sanchez.
Is that Gonzalez? I don't know. The guy who played for Colombia in the World Cup.
Yeah, Sanchez. Yeah.
And Sanchez, that's it. And Perez from Arsenal. It was like, oh, the transfer window's closed and we've got to buy someone. And those two rocked up. And, you know, he'd done nothing at Arsenal and the other one had done nothing at Aston Villa. So, you know, it seemed like panic buys almost.
Exactly.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'd much rather they put kids in the team, like Nathan Holland, as you said, and, you know, maybe one of the strikers who's knocking goals into the reserves. Let them have a go.
Yeah,
like-
Connor Coventry and
Andrew Silva or Coventry.
yeah.
Yeah. Or Nathan Holland, yeah, as you said.
And that Josh Cullen looked good today. I watched. Did you see the Charlton game today?
I saw a little bit of it. I didn't see that much, but what I saw of it, he looked good.
I mean, that Josh Cullen was heads and shoulders above most of the players on the field. So,
Yeah.
you know, he's a West Ham boy. Give him a go next year.
Yeah, well, he should be. I mean, he should be heads and shoulders above League One players. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, true.
give him a run out. Why not? You know, get him into a couple of games. Give him a run out. Look, we saw Ben Johnson perform really well at Manchester City until he got injured. Declan has come through for us and looked really good. So we need to get the academy cranking again. I feel as though it was down for a few seasons, but it's producing some good players again.
Yeah. So we also forgot about Ben Johnson as well. I would love to see him healthy again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he came in out of nowhere. He looked good in that game when he played with the first team, didn't he? I thought he was really impressive.
Against a club like
Ben
City.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Right. I'd never heard of him.
And I think there's a lot of players coming through. I'd never heard of him until we played that game. I was like, who is this?
I hadn't either. He was
I heard of Ben Johnson Road. That's in Stepney.
right.
It's
He was
related
in the
to the
team
Glen.
sheet, and I thought it's the.
What's that, mate?
It's related to the Glen.
I don't think so. I think he was a union activist, mate.
No, Ben,
Or Boris
mate? Sorry.
Johnson.
Ben Johnson is the disgraced Canadian sprinter. The guy who got yeah.
Yeah, Boris Johnson. Yeah, they got. I mean, they got some great young players coming through. That Nathan Holland looks mustard, doesn't he?
Yes. That's what I'm most excited for is Nathan Holland. He almost had an opportunity this year instead of Grady Diangana, but unfortunately he picked up an injury which prevented him to get that shot. And then I still don't understand why they didn't give him a shot near the end of the season though when he was healthy. I don't understand. But they did give him a new contract, which is good.
You know what? I think if they'd have won a couple of more games and they were locked in top 10, he might have done. But apparently, they'd insisted that he had to finish in the top 10. What's his name? The manager. So really, I guess he didn't want to take any chances.
Yeah.
Because those couple of games that we should have won, apart from bad decisions.
Right.
Well, with one of those we'd won, we'd have been locked in to be top 10, and he could have given the kids a go. Because that's always the time to give the kids a go when there's no pressure.
Yeah, for me, all season long, the two most disgraceful decision games for us were the Liverpool and the Manchester United match. Those were both, they were wins for us. They were 100% wins. They were some of the best performances all season long by us as a club. And yeah, that was just disgraceful, really.
And the most disappointing performances were, I think, Burnley was definitely Burnley and Cardiff.
Yeah.
I can't believe West Ham. It was the same West Ham you saw at the end of the season because they looked so awful. I wanted to start supporting Millwall. That's how bad they was. No, I won't go that far.
No, it's funny that Wolves was just as bad, and the same thing with the Everton match. The second half of the season. Yeah, was that Everton? Yeah, Everton was just.
Everton was bad as well. Yeah. Everton at home. Yeah, they were awful.
Yeah, Everton at home was.
They looked as though they.
And Wolves, both games against Wolves, they looked like they weren't interested.
Well, Wolves have a good.
I know.
Team. Wolves have a good team, and I mean, there's no excuse to lose 3-0 like that. But Wolves to me were a higher quality side than Everton. Everton. I mean, that was 3 points for the taking for us, and we didn't go up in that. And it's very disappointing. Especially at that stage of the season when, I think we could have gone to 7th. We could have been 7th if we won that match.
Yeah.
But,
it looks like every single time that we were almost at 7th place, they just shit the bed. Really.
Like 5 or 6 times. Yeah. Like over and over again.
Yeah. And that's always been the West Ham problem going back through the years. Whenever they have a decent season, they'll have 2 or 3 good games and then 2 absolute stinkers. And you can't believe it's the same team.
In 85, 86, we were sniffing on.
In 86, we should have won the championship, and we
lost to Everton.
And we lost to Everton, right, exactly. And
also Arsenal.
We lost the championship by 3 points, didn't we, if I remember?
And Brian Pop Robson scored with a bloody hand at Highbury.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I think they've lost us.
Oh,
we're here. We can hear you too. That's
cheers.
I don't get drunk.
So, let me think what else I can tell. Oh, I've got a story here, look.
Oh, yeah.
You see these hammers?
I do.
They came from a pub in Bethnal Green. They've been there since the 60s. And my uncle's mate, Freddie Fake, used to own the pub. The last time I see him was during the Olympics in 2012. So he retired, and then he got cancer almost immediately and died. So his missus was going to throw them in the bin. So she lived in the flat above my sister. So my sister says, "Don't you want them?" She right, "No." So she goes, "My brother will want them in America." So she sent them to me this year. So we bought them to every game.
Nice.
So that's our LA Hammers single.
Yeah, we had to knee in front of it before the game started.
And then we got
that's awesome.
This one, which I bought my wife a present on from Upton Park, the West Ham Pitbull, because I've got Pitbulls. So we have a few little knickknacks with West Ham Hammers, or Los Angeles Hammers, I should say.
And you guys go to, so you have 2 different chapters, you have Pasadena and someplace else?
What's that, mate?
Yeah, Lee, speak up.
You go to two different pubs. You go to Pasadena. There's one in Pasadena, and there's another one where you are now.
Yeah, there's one in Studio City, Hyperion, where the people on the west side go. And then there's that one in Pasadena, which is called Lucky Baldwin's Trip East. And I believe there's a pub in Orange County where the Hammers meet as well. I don't know.
Because LA is. Oh, there he is.
It's an English bulldog,
Beautiful.
and they come to the game every game.
Oh yeah, we had this guy. He comes from Lancaster, which is like 100 miles away, and brings his bulldog with a West Ham scarf on.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
And it's a good-looking dog as well. Yeah, that's dedication. 100 miles each way to come to the games at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Seriously.
What other? Do you have any other crazy stories about your experiences as a supporters group?
Yes, I got. Oh, the West Ham supporters club, the LA supporters club. Nothing crazy. I used to have some crazy experiences when I used to go to the games in the early '80s. Me and my mate Peter Cox, God rest his soul, we'd work on Saturday mornings, and we'd always finish about 2 o'clock. And wherever he was, we dashed to Upton Park, and we parked as close to the South Bank as we could, and we run into the game just before kickoff. And they put the away game. We won the game there, and it was the first time Swansea was in the first division, and it was like an England against Wales thing. And as we walked in there was a massive row going on at the back of the South Bank, and the old toilets in the South Bank had been knocked down, and everyone was spraying bricks at each other. We were like, oh God, what did we just walk into? And they'd smashed the toilets to bits. They were just rocking each other all up and down the South Bank. It was crazy. The old Bill's just running away, going like, not having anything to do with that.
Two of my best mate are all ICF boys. Really nasty geezers back in the day. They in the movie, once with the hooligans, they're walking off the bus and come on and fucking do them in. So I took my wife to see the last game at Upton Park. And as we're walking out, she went and bought a scarf. And she put the scarf on. I go, oh, you can't wear that. And she bought a fucking ICF scarf. and the boys go, no, you can't wear that. You don't look like a friggin' ICF hooligan. She goes, I love the colours.
I only had one, I only had one experience with the ICF, and it was when they were very in their infancy, and we were all about 13, 14. And so all the lads was a bit older than us said, right, we were playing Arsenal in the quarterfinals of the Cup. So they said, listen, go into the North Bank without your colours on, and at 10 to 3, when you see the clock at the other end, just go, we're forever blowing bubbles. I said, don't worry about it, we'll come in from everywhere. So we've done it, we've gone, forever blowing, and we're surrounded, and punches and everything raining on us. And all of a sudden, this big crowd coming from either side like pincers and chased all the Arsenal crowd onto the pitch. And it was all West Ham in the North Bank. It was nuts.
That is nuts. That's awesome. Wow.
And West Ham won 2-0, and Alan Taylor scored both. It was great. We won the Cup that year.
Oh, even better. That's fantastic.
Was that the last time? No, we won it in 1980 as well.
1980, yeah.
When Brookings scored, yeah.
Arsenal say he found.
He fell over and it bought his head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Brookings did his. That was his Bobby Orr moment.
Yeah.
For anybody who knows about Boston hockey, that was the Bobby Orr moment. He was sort of flying through the air, and Brookings kind of did the same thing. He sort of fell over and came off his head, and that was the Cup winner.
So, have you guys been to Olympic Stadium yet?
He's singing songs now, Peter. I haven't been. I was at the Olympics in 2012. Me and my wife were actually in the casino with friends of ours when they had the athletics going on. That's about as close as I've been to it. And every time I go back, I'll go with my sister shopping because she likes to buy things for my wife. Because the shopping centre is unbelievable, but I haven't actually seen the West Ham game there.
No, we went when they were building it, but we never managed to see a game yet.
The last time I saw West Ham live was a year and a half before the stadium closed down when Andy was playing room, and I was in his box when he come on a substitute and hit the post against Aston Villa in the last minute. But I knew I was getting old then because I was in the box with his mum and dad, and they were the same age as me.
That's sad, isn't it? You're older than the players' parents.
Yeah, me and Andy's dad, I think his name was Tom. And a lot of experiences in common. It's when you know you're getting old.
Shag the same birds.
No, he's from Newcastle, Lee, right? Good looking birds in the East End, you know that.
Oh, yeah. Milky birds are famous for being toothless.
All right, I'm sorry. I would like to mention, like we do every single episode, we do have a lot of people in the chat room tonight, and the live chat anyway. Scott Davis is on. We've had him on as a guest. We got Wally and Gabe as usual. We're going to have them on in a few weeks as guests to say thank you for watching pretty much every one of our episodes live. James Quinlan from Knoxville Hammers is in there as well. We've interviewed him, and I guess there was one or two more people in there, but I don't see them. But anyway, thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I love it when I see you guys in there bantering in the chat room. There's an ongoing thing in the chat room about Jordan Hugill going on loan to Real Madrid.
What?
Just kidding. I made that up. But someone said
he was into Milan.
Remember Julian Faubert? Going on loan to Real Madrid? Remember that happened?
That's why I said that. Yeah. Someone else was saying that he's going to Barca, and I said no. He's actually going on loan to Real Madrid.
I think they should swap him for Pogba.
Yeah.
Hey, let me just say this about Jordan Hugill. I wanted that guy to succeed at West Ham because he was so excited to play for West Ham.
Yeah, he was pumped. I mean,
a new signing get so excited about playing for West Ham. He just wasn't in the game.
I agree with you, mate. He actually seemed to really love it.
Yep.
I was.
No, but he was excited to sign for us, and that don't happen very often.
No, it doesn't.
No,
it
I was
doesn't.
rooting for him.
Usually it's somebody.
Jordan Hugill.
Yeah. No, he really wanted. He just wasn't good enough. I guess he's still in the books, right? He's still a West Ham player, right?
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, because I always worried that, like with that. Yeah, he's still a West Ham player. I think he comes back from Middlesbrough, right?
Yeah.
But I always worry, like people like what's his name, Anderson, uses as stepping stones so they can go United or City. Like Tevez did. Unfortunately, I know we loved him for that year, but he obviously was using us to get to somewhere else.
Obviously, yeah. One season, I mean, yeah.
Some of the other banter in the chat room here was about they were asking if I was going to mention James Tompkins tonight, like I do every single episode. So there you go, James Tompkins.
James Tompkins. Don't mention him. My wife always calls him the rock star. I'm like, would you fancy him or something?
He was my favorite Hammer.
I took my wife to West Ham once. Well, my wife's favourite was, and only played for a couple of years. My wife loved Bellamy, and we took her to West Ham and Aston Villa in 2008, and she loved it because everyone kept buying her drinks all the time. Go, oh, you come from America, and then Bellamy with his green boots. I think he scored, And she's like, "Wow, soccer's so great."
He was a good player, though. He was a good player, Bellamy.
He was great. I mean, again, he was another one of those players that was too good for us at that time.
No, he was. He and Ashton, if they had been able to play together, he and Ashton would have been a huge character.
Oh, my wife's saying to me to tell you that she loves Carlton Cole.
Oh, I love Carlton Cole. We all love Carlton Cole.
Yeah.
And he's still involved in the team.
And he's a youth team coach now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, he's an ambassador for the ladies team as well.
We have an audience.
Hold on, I'm just going to turn this around and show you. We got the wives here.
Okay.
One immediately the ICF stop.
Are you good? Hit the down.
They wanted
Hello.
to say hello, so there you go.
Somebody else in the chat room says that it's required for Lee to mention Texas
Oh, that's right.
or PSG.
Oh,
No,
please.
that's
I don't
After this,
Texas and PSG, or Texas or PSG?
No, we're not. No, I don't. Only because I used to live in Paris, do I ever talk about PSG? I'm not even a fan of PSG. No, and my French club is Saint Etienne. My French club
Oh,
is.
Paris, not
That's right, Santan. Yeah. Sorry.
But yes, I will tell you, Los Angeles is one of my favorite cities in the world. I love it. I absolutely love it, and would love to get back sometime soon. And I went to the Rose Bowl there some years ago. Well, we're Texas in now. When my alma mater, Texas Christian, played in the Rose Bowl, we won the Rose Bowl back in 2011. I went to LA for the Rose Bowl, had a fantastic time. I love LA. So there you go. That's Texas and California, and I guess that's all of the same sentence.
I did have a great time in Los Angeles as well, but I prefer, like West Hollywood. There's a lot of stuff to do, but I do love Studio City as well. It's really nice over there.
Oh, I think the whole place is fantastic. I love it. I would live there in a heartbeat.
Well, my wife is from San Diego. I always lived in Silver Lake and Hollywood. But my wife is from San Diego. She didn't really like the other side of the hill. That's opening stuff in Studio City. But I've been here for about 12 years now. And Peter lives less than a mile from me. Nick lives 2 blocks from me. And we all lived the other side of the hill for years. I guess it's when you get a little bit older, you move across the hill. Quieter, less trouble.
Yeah.
Anywhere in Southern California, from Santa Barbara all the way down to San Diego, I love all of it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah. All right, gentlemen.
I love Santa Barbara.
I really want to thank you so much for coming on with us tonight,
Oh,
man. It was
it's
a
been fun,
lovely
guys.
chat.
Really
It
enjoyed
really
it.
has. Me too. Seriously.
Appreciate it, guys. We appreciate it.
We would love to have you back on sometime. And please let Nick know we'd love to have him on as well sometime.
Always in our hearts.
I'm going to in. Yeah, Nick's
go.
under the cosh. His wife wouldn't let him be on. No, he had something come up with his wife.
Oh, he's so whipped.
But yeah, he's very weird. I'm not trying to say that. He might see it.
That's funny.
She goes right now. Nick, you know.
Nick, you wanker. What happened? No, guys, it was great. We'd love to come back again.
Definitely, because we love the stories. Really appreciate that.
You, so keep it up. You do a really good job.
No, thank you. Thank you very much, guys.
Spread the word. We're out there. All of us.
Thank you, guys. And yeah.
Cheers, guys. Come on, you Emmers.
All right.
Come on, you
Come on, you Irons.
See you soon.
Cheers, guys.
Have a good night.
See you later, guys.